when they see this little thing here, back up and kicking, they be like, yo.
I never want to be debt-free. Why would I want to be debt-free? Why does Jay-Z and Beyonce have a mortgage? Why doesn't he pay cash for their house?
What the fuck is it gonna take to get rid of this bitch? You can't get rid of me, bitch.
If Jay-Z's got money working over here, he's not gonna take it and put it into the house that's gonna sit idle.
I'm not going nowhere. I'm not going no fucking where.
Because Jay-Z knows earning interest on your money is senior to paying interest.
Statement is something from, you can tell it was written by a lawyer. There's a point where it kind of gets aggressive.
Don't just look at one side of the coin. Look at it. Hey, does it make sense? This extra money that I'm putting to my house?
He says, you're gonna find out, like how I'll handle it.
Should I be putting it aside in a separate account where I'm in control of it and it's earning me interest?
These people that pretend they don't like me, they're just obsessed. I allow myself to be looked at as the bad guy.
So people always ask, should I get a 15-year mortgage or a 30-year mortgage? We do the math on them.
In a move that shocked both fans and financial analysts, Jay-Z and Beyonce have reportedly taken out a staggering $57.75 million mortgage on their luxurious Bel-Air estate. The news quickly went viral, not just because of the massive loan amount, but because it seemed completely at odds with the public image of the Carters as billionaire power players who rarely show signs of financial vulnerability. According to reports from the Daily Mail, this new mortgage is tied to the $88 million hilltop mansion they purchased back in 2017, an extravagant 30,000 square foot property that already carried a hefty $52.8 million mortgage from Goldman Sachs. With this new loan, the couple's total debt on the home now surpasses $110 million, raising eyebrows and triggering a wave of online speculation. Why would one of the richest celebrity couples in the world, allegedly worth billions, suddenly need to refinance or borrow tens of millions more? While some analysts quickly tried to explain it away as a smart financial maneuver, the internet wasn't so quick to let it slide. The massive numbers involved gave fans, critics, and gossip blogs plenty of ammunition to dig deeper. Was this a strategic play, or the first real hint that things behind the scenes might not be as perfect as they appear? And as the conversation spread, the theories only got louder. As soon as the news hit social media, the reactions came in like a tidal wave, split between admiration and suspicion. Some users praised the Carters for making what they believed was a calculated financial move, calling it billionaire chess and citing common practices among the ultra-wealthy who leverage assets to maintain liquidity. These defenders argued that borrowing against property isn't a sign of struggle. It's a strategic way to access capital without selling off valuable assets. But others weren't buying it. The sheer size of the loan, added to their already massive mortgage, had many wondering if Beyonce and Jay-Z were in deeper waters than anyone realized. Twitter threads exploded with theories, memes, and hot takes. Why would billionaires need a mortgage this big unless something's wrong? One user wrote, while another bluntly asked, are they hiding financial trouble behind designer clothes and tour lights? The debate quickly turned into a battleground between fans protecting the Carters' image and skeptics digging for cracks in the empire. Some questioned whether the couple's lavish lifestyle, including private jets, luxury properties, and multi-million-dollar performances, was becoming unsustainable. Others pointed to the fact that even billionaires operate on credit, using debt as a tool to expand empires, not signal collapse. But for every explanation, a counter-narrative emerged. Was this really a smart financial strategy, or just the first visible sign of cash flow issues they hoped no one would notice? As the digital crowd continued to clash, one group jumped into the fray louder than the rest, and they came with receipts. It didn't take long for Nicki Minaj's fan base, known for being both vocal and razor-sharp online, to seize this opportunity and turn the mortgage news into a pointed clapback. In the wake of Nicki's recent feud with Jay-Z and his Roc Nation empire, many of her supporters saw this financial revelation as poetic justice. They began circulating screenshots, memes, and tweets that questioned the double standard often applied to their queen versus the Carters. One viral post mocked, "Nicki is broke and touring for free for taking out a loan, but when Jay-Z and Beyonce do it, it's suddenly called being money smart." The tweet struck a nerve, drawing thousands of likes and retweets as fans rallied behind the narrative that Nicki had long been unfairly criticized for moves that are now being reframed as strategic when done by the industry's most powerful couple. Another post threw fuel on the fire, saying, "So Jay-Z and Beyonce are broke now? No wonder Jay-Z stole Nicki Minaj's money and Beyonce is touring so often." That line, whether sarcastic or serious, quickly gained traction, reviving past rumors and grievances, especially ones involving alleged contract manipulation and behind-the-scenes interference. Though there's no concrete evidence that Jay-Z mishandled funds connected to Nicki, the internet thrives on the blurred line between fact and speculation. And with emotions running high, fans weren't interested in nuance. They were interested in narrative. This sudden shift in attention, from Nicki's money moves to the Carters, wasn't just petty internet drama. It was a reflection of a deeper tension brewing between fan bases and the gatekeepers of the music industry. And as the debate intensified, a different bombshell was waiting to be re-examined, one that could completely dismantle the idea that the Carters are in financial trouble at all. Just when the internet seemed ready to declare Beyonce and Jay-Z financially tapped out, a crucial detail came roaring back into the conversation, one that made the broke claims start to unravel. In 2023, the couple made headlines for purchasing a jaw-dropping $200 million oceanfront estate in Malibu, reportedly paid for entirely in cash. This wasn't just another mansion, it was one of the most expensive residential real estate deals in California history, a staggering flex that most billionaires wouldn't dare attempt. So, how does a couple allegedly drowning in mortgage debt casually drop 9 figures on a beachfront property without financing? That contradiction forced even their harshest critics to pause. The Malibu purchase seemed to contradict the idea that the Carters were experiencing any kind of financial distress. Instead, it pointed to a much more calculated narrative, one in which they're not scrambling for money, but rather playing an elite financial game that the average person doesn't even understand. The theory? They're leveraging one property while locking in long-term value on another, allowing them to move capital around like pieces on a chessboard, maximizing liquidity while still expanding their empire. But that didn't stop skeptics from asking the bigger question. If you have that kind of wealth on hand, why take out a massive mortgage at all? Some speculated it could be a tax strategy, others guessed it might be tied to upcoming ventures or even unknown liabilities. Whatever the reason, the Malibu move proved one thing. If the Carters are struggling, they sure know how to hide it behind a wall of luxury and power plays. But this isn't just about real estate. Their wealth goes far beyond homes, and to truly understand how they're moving, you have to look at what else they're sitting on. Beyond the jaw-dropping mansions and world tours, the Carters have built an empire that stretches deep into industries most fans never even think about. While critics fixated on their mortgage, they missed the bigger picture. Beyonce and Jay-Z are sitting on a mountain of diversified assets that keep growing quietly behind the scenes. According to financial reports and industry insiders, their combined net worth is estimated between $3 billion and $4 billion, a number fueled not just by music, but by shrewd investments and ownership stakes in powerful companies. Jay-Z's Roc Nation isn't just a record label, it's a multi-tiered entertainment and sports management firm with influence across music, athletics, and media. His early stake in Uber turned a modest investment into a massive payday when the company went public, and his part ownership of Douce Cognac turned into a multi-million-dollar sale after a high-profile split from Bacardi. Meanwhile, Beyoncé's Parkwood Entertainment has given her full control over her brand, from film and music to fashion and live performances. She's not just a pop star, she's the CEO of her own empire. Then, there's their lesser-known but equally valuable art collection, said to be worth tens of millions on its own, featuring rare and high-end contemporary pieces. Financial analysts speculate that these assets, combined with royalty streams, tour revenue, and real estate, make their occasional use of debt a strategic move to unlock cash without selling equity. In the world of high finance, that's not a red flag. It's a power move. So while the public obsesses over a $110 million mortgage, the Carters are likely making multi-million-dollar decisions that most people will never even hear about. But just because they're swimming in wealth doesn't mean their empire is untouchable, because the history of power moves has shown that even the richest couples can face unexpected challenges. If there's one thing Jay-Z and Beyonce have mastered over the years, it's the art of the silent play. Every financial move they make seems to come wrapped in mystery, only revealing its full purpose months, or even years, later. From Jay-Z's rise from hustling in Brooklyn to becoming one of the first hip-hop billionaires, to Beyonce's transformation from a global pop icon into a boardroom boss, their empire wasn't built on impulse. It was carefully crafted through a series of calculated risks that often looked confusing or controversial from the outside. Remember when Jay-Z launched Tidal and people mocked him for trying to take on Apple and Spotify? That same platform later turned into a key bargaining chip in the streaming wars. Or when Beyoncé dropped her self-titled album without a single announcement and broke the internet in a single night. That wasn't just a creative decision. It was a business revolution. These two don't just follow industry trends, they rewrite the rules entirely. Their financial history shows a pattern of long-game thinking, acquiring equity instead of taking checks, investing in up-and-coming industries before they boom, and structuring deals that give them maximum control. So, this new mortgage might not be a sign of financial strain at all. It could be the setup for something bigger. Whether it's a massive business acquisition, a hidden stake in an upcoming tech platform, or funding for a new entertainment venture, the Carters rarely move without a bigger plan in mind. But just because their record shows brilliance doesn't mean they're immune to criticism, especially when the public starts noticing patterns that favor them while punishing others. And that brings up a question the internet has been asking louder than ever. Why is it called strategic when the Carters do it, but desperate when someone else does the same? The moment Jay-Z and Beyoncé's mortgage story hit the headlines, it didn't just trigger curiosity about their finances, it reignited a much deeper debate about how the media and the public judge celebrities differently depending on who they are. For many fans, especially those aligned with artists like Nicki Minaj, the hypocrisy was glaring. When Nicki is rumored to be refinancing or allegedly making moves to stay liquid, the internet is quick to label her broke, washed up, or desperate. But when Jay-Z and Beyoncé take out an even larger loan, it's praised as a strategic or genius financial decision. That double standard wasn't lost on the online crowd, and it opened the floodgates for criticism that stretched far beyond just celebrity news. It became a conversation about power, bias, and who gets to control their own narrative. Some suggested that Jay-Z's deep ties to media and entertainment executives, along with his carefully cultivated image as a mogul, shield him from the kind of scrutiny other artists face. Others pointed to Beyoncé's flawless branding and lack of public missteps as the reason she's given more grace. But whatever the cause, the result is the same. Different rules for different stars. It's this uneven playing field that fuels resentment, and why every financial headline about the Carters quickly becomes more than just numbers. It becomes a symbol of how fame and power can bend perception. And while their defenders may argue they've earned that status through hard work and brilliance, others believe it's time to start questioning why some are allowed to make business decisions while others are dragged for the exact same behavior. With these questions swirling, one thing is clear. There's more going on beneath the surface than what the headlines reveal. And some believe the real reason for these massive loans hasn't been fully exposed yet. With all the chatter surrounding the Carters' multi-million-dollar mortgage, fans and financial sleuths alike are beginning to wonder if there's something larger looming beneath the surface. Because in the world of billionaire moves, nothing is ever as simple as it seems. Could this sudden influx of borrowed capital be a strategic cushion ahead of an economic downturn? Or is it tied to a confidential business venture they're preparing to launch, one that requires quiet funding before it goes public? Some online theories suggest that Jay-Z may be lining up another high-stakes acquisition, possibly in the tech or sports world, while others think Beyoncé could be gearing up for a massive multimedia rollout that dwarfs even her Renaissance era. Then there's the darker speculation, whispers of hidden liabilities, silent legal battles, or internal restructuring at Roc Nation or Parkwood that might have forced them to tap into their property for immediate liquidity. Of course, none of this is confirmed, but in the absence of hard facts, speculation fills the void, and the Carters' silence only adds fuel to the fire. After all, they've built their brand on mystique, rarely explaining their decisions unless absolutely necessary. That's part of what makes this mortgage move so compelling. It's one of the few concrete numbers the public has ever seen about their finances. And when billionaires start moving that kind of money, it's never random. Whether it's preparation for a pivot, a safeguard against unseen losses, or something else entirely, the timing of it all feels too precise to be coincidence. Whatever's coming next, fans are watching closely, convinced that this mortgage isn't the end of the story. It's the beginning of something we haven't been told yet. And with their next major chapter still in the shadows, only one question remains. Are we witnessing the setup for the Carters' boldest move yet, or the first quiet sign of a storm they're trying to keep out of the spotlight? As the dust settles on the firestorm surrounding Jay-Z and Beyonce's $57.75 million mortgage, one thing remains crystal clear. This isn't just about a loan. It's about power, perception, and the blurred lines between brilliance and desperation. On the surface, the move could easily be chalked up as just another savvy financial maneuver, the kind billionaires routinely make to keep their empires flexible. But dig a little deeper, and you uncover a layered narrative filled with contradictions, public scrutiny, and mounting questions. How does a couple with the power to buy a $200 million home in cash still need over $110 million in loans on another property? Why do some artists get vilified for financial choices, while the Carters are celebrated for theirs? And more importantly, what's really going on behind the scenes that requires this sudden access to liquid capital? Whether it's the quiet buildup to a billion-dollar business play or subtle signs of pressure building within their empire, the truth is still carefully concealed behind luxury, influence, and legacy. The Carters have always thrived in secrecy, revealing only what they want the world to see, turning mystery into control. But this time, the numbers told their own story, and the public noticed. Now, fans, critics, and analysts are left watching closely, wondering if the king and queen of entertainment are still steps ahead, or if this is the first time they've shown their hand a little too early. Either way, one thing's for sure. In the high-stakes world Jay-Z and Beyoncé rule, every move is a message. And this one just might be the opening move in a game we haven't seen the board for yet.